this is all of the parts for the little Pit Droid that I just showed you there in the intro. I printed the antenna, but there's a lot of texture to them. And to get these tiny little rods smooth would be a pain in the ass. So I jumped on Amazon and bought this box here full of 4mm aluminum rod. I think it was $13 for this box, and I will have antennas on droids for years. I will probably never run out of 4mm aluminum rods in my lifetime trying to print droids. Anyways, everything was printed on a single Elegoo Centauri carbon. I didn't keep track exactly the time frame that it took, but it's roughly 250 hours. A month of printing, 3 days a week. Settings wise, I just used the Elegoo slicer that just came out, the Orca clone slicer. Didn't change anything in the settings except for making it a 1.6mm layer height. That way it would minimize the amount of cleanups. Let's start doing a little bit of sanding and puttying. Now, I'm not really going to get into any extensive detail on how to go through assembling this thing. The instructions that you get from Droid Division, they're pretty easy to follow and will give you step-by-step instructions on exactly how to put this thing together. So there's no need for me to go into exactly how to do that. It's just do all of your sanding, and then after sanding, put your Bondo putty over any of the worst areas, sand the Bondo putty again, and yeah, then it'll be ready to start assembling, so you can do your primer coats. Here we got all the little tiny head pieces. The head is the worst part. It's got just a crap ton of little tiny detail pieces that you have to go through and assemble. It's not that bad. Like I said, it's got good instructions. You can see the instruction manual there in front of me. You've got to use a pair of pliers to put some of these clips on. They're getting your fingers to squeeze them on was a little bit too much. So you know, a pair of channel locks and they snap right on. And the head is now basically fully assembled, other than putting the lens in the front. So now it's time to smooth everything out. I use this wood putty. I didn't use it on everything. I still use some Bondo putty here and there, but the wood putty was really quick and easy on some of the worst parts because I could put it on, sand it off within 30 seconds, put another coat on, sand it off. It dried super fast. All right, so I'm out here on the storage side of my workshop. All the parts for the droid have been layer line filled with the Bondo spot putty or wood filler, depending on which part it was and what it needed. Then that was sanded, and then after that it got a super heavy coat of filler primer and then sanded again. Now it's ready for painting, which is going to start with flat black over everything. All right, so the flat black's been sprayed over all of the parts. Now that it's black, I'm going to go through and mask everything off and get ready for the first coat of paint that I want to put on. The first coat of paint I'm going to use is going to be a Rust-Oleum brand. Ultra Matte Down to Earth is the color title. For the head here, I used a lot of just packing paper to expedite the process, get it all closed off. All right, once I got it all masked off, I needed to start prepping for paint chipping before we put the first coat of paint on. And to do that, you just take liquid mask and a sponge, masking fluid, and just sponge it on all over the model, anywhere you think there's going to be chips on the edges, corners, whatever, just wherever you think a paint chip is going to be. And once your paint's been applied, it's time to remove that liquid masking fluid. And all I did is just use this big silicone block. It's meant for cleaning sandpaper. Then it's rinse and repeat for the next color that you want to put on your droid. For mine, I went with Rust-Oleum brand's Burnt Sienna. I thought it was a really good contrasting color to that down-to-earth tan. Alright, so now it's time to wire the head for the LED light. There's this little pedestal inside the head that the outside antenna rests on. I'm going to cut that off, and that is where the switch is going to go. The antenna will slide down and just click on that switch. Now, to get the wiring up inside of it, I had to drill a small hole down into the eye socket. Once you print the model, you'll see exactly how to do it. And then you slide a piece of wire down in there and tape your LED to it and pull it back up into the head. And then insert the eye into the socket. Then the wires were all hooked up using just butt connectors, and then took a torch and heat shrunk them, sealed them up really good, and then all of the wires are secured in place using hot glue. Don't need to get too fancy. You're not going to see it. It's all going to be inside the head. And once all the wires are secured, test it out. There we go. We got a light, canopy on, and click. The antenna works perfectly fine. All right, it is time for assembly. Now I made a mistake right here as I put the hip on backwards. I would say he was a little pigeon-toed. There's not much to it. It's furniture bolts that all hold it together. When you get the instructions, it will tell you exactly what you're supposed to buy. Now I'm just doing the final detailing on them, painting the furniture bolts. They don't look so weird sticking out there all chrome. Doing some weathering on them. I just got some black craft paint mixed with water and shooting it through the airbrush to give it that grimy look. I mean, he's from Star Wars. He's got to be grimy and dirty. Everything in Star Wars is beat to shit. If you get a little too much paint on an area, just dab it off with a paper towel before it dries. And that is it. My little pit droid is complete. Now, this was my first droid build, but it most certainly is not going to be my last. He was a hell of a lot of fun to put together and paint. Uh, Let me know what you think of him down in the comments. And while I got you here, if you would, go ahead and please subscribe. Hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. And I will see you next time. Well, I won't see you. You'll see me. Anyways, later.